The rain came down so heavily it wasn't easy to be totally sure who was doing what at the brewery field on Friday evening, but one player always seemed to be in the thick of the action. Step forward, Ollie Cracknell. The pile-driving hits that brought gasps from the crowd and any number of strong carries came with Cracknell's name on them. It would have been exactly what Steve Tandy wanted to see, particularly as the Wales squadman had a number 7 on his back. All summer there have been questions about who would step into the void left by Underhill after his move to Bath. When Justin Tipuric went off for test duty last term, Underhill was the ideal man to take over at open side. But Cracknell had a real go at showing his worth in the role against the Tigers. Former Osprey Sam Underhill Will Jones in action for Wales under-20s. There was also an eye-catching effort from Will Jones. He is only 19 and there are whispers that he may not be big enough for senior rugby, but he is definitely someone you'd want by your side walking up a dark alley, and his late cameo suggested he might just also step up in the months ahead, particularly if Tipuric, Cracknell and James King are away with Wales at the same time, which happened during last term's Six Nations. At 5 feet 11 inches and 14 stone 9 pounds, Jones isn't the biggest open side ever. But Neil Back won 66 caps for England and 5 for the Lions, and he was an inch smaller than Jones and the same weight. So let's not hear much more from those who are hinting that the hugely promising Wales under-20s captain lacks the physical stature to cut it in the senior game. He is actually filling out, but he already has the explosive power as a result of his expertise in judo, a sport in which he is a former Great Britain cadet champion and a European youth Olympian. More than a bit handy, then. For the Ospreys against the Tigers, he didn't have much time to truly underline his promise, coming on well into the final quarter, but the way he smashed back one opposition ball carrier and turned over another hinted that the boy could play. Ospreys head coach Steve Tandy. So there were consolations for Tandy after his team's 2,114 loss to the Tigers. Cracknell was outstanding at number 7, he said. We would have liked to have seen Will on a bit earlier, but Rowan Jenks' yellow card affected our substitutions. Will is a good, up-and-coming young kid who has played well for Wales under-20s. The Ospreys head coach continued, we also have James King who can slot in at open side. He did a job for us in that position 2 years ago, so there's a bit of cover there. It is a bit makeshift, apart from Will, who's an open side tradesman. It's something we'll look at. The Ospreys came unstuck in Bridgend, not least because they tried to play too much rugby in the wet conditions, and Leicester were ever so clinical. 3 clear-cut chances, 3 tries. Rat-a-tat, let's all go for a coffee. James Hook made his Ospreys return against Leicester amid Hugh Evans' picture agency, but for home fans there was the welcome sight of James Hook returning to Welsh rugby after 6 years away. On at fullback for the final 31 minutes, he put in a number of beautifully judged kicks out of hand, frequently broke the first line of defence and jumped bravely to take her balls. An alien dropping in from another planet would have picked him out as a class player. Corey Allen made his debut for the Ospreys against Leicester amid Hugh Evans' picture agency. Corey Allen also had his moments after coming off the bench, while the two Dans, Baker and Evans, vied with Cracknell for the status of top Ospreys player on the night. A number of youngsters also put their hands up. It was a good hit-out, said Tandy. Of course, we would have liked it to have been drier given the amount of rugby we play. We probably overdid it a bit in the rain, but we've tried to improve our skill sets again over the summer. Leicester had a 2 or 3 chances and scored a couple of maul tries, which was disappointing and an area we need to tidy up. But our set piece was good and you could see the attacking intent and some of the young backs showed up. It's disappointing to lose any game, but there were some good individual performances coming from the likes of Dan Evans, Ollie Cracknell and Dan Baker. Those boys really stood out. Overall, it was pleasing.